In this video, we journey alongside Enoch, an ancient figure who embarks on a mystical ascent through the heavens. Guided by two celestial beings, Enoch witnesses incredible sights, from the beauty of paradise to the terrifying realms of judgment. This story unveils profound secrets about the universe and reflects the immense power and glory of the Creator. Enoch's vision and divine call. On the first day of the month, I was alone in my house, resting on my bed when I fell asleep. Suddenly, two very large men appeared before me, beings of such enormous stature that I had never seen such in all my life on earth. Their faces shone like the sun, and their eyes blazed like burning light. Fire emanated from their lips. Their clothing was a rich, purple hue, and their wings gleamed brighter than gold. Their hands were whiter than the purest snow. They stood at the head of my bed and called my name. I rose from my sleep, fully awake, and saw them standing there, radiant and imposing. I greeted them with trembling words, my heart filled with fear, and my face changed in terror at their celestial presence. Yet, they spoke to me kindly. "Take courage, Enoch. Do not fear. The eternal God has sent us to you. Today, you shall ascend to the heavens with us. There you will be shown wonders, and when you return, you must tell your sons and your household all that you have seen, instructing them on what to do in your absence until the Lord returns." As their words sank into my heart, I realized that I was being called to something far greater than any earthly experience. And so, filled with both awe and confusion, I followed them in silent obedience. The first heaven. Following the angels, I quickly left my house and called to my sons, Musel, Regim, and Gad. I shared with them the incredible words the angels had revealed to me, though they were still unsure of what to make of it all. With no further hesitation, the angels lifted me with their powerful wings and carried me aloft into the heavens. We ascended until we arrived at the first heaven, where the angels placed me gently on a cloud. As I looked around, a vast sea stretched before me, greater and deeper than the earthly seas. It was as though the waters of the cosmos themselves were revealed. Before me stood the elders and rulers of the stars, beings of immense wisdom and power who governed the movements of the celestial bodies. Around them flew 200 angels who were entrusted with overseeing the stars, ensuring their movements aligned with the divine order. These angels were tasked with guiding those who traversed the heavens, ensuring the stars remained in their appointed paths. As I marveled at this cosmic arrangement, I saw the treasure houses of snow, where angels carefully guarded the pristine crystals. I was shown how the snow descended upon the earth, each flake a testament to the angels' careful stewardship of creation. Then the angels revealed to me the treasure house of dew, a mystical store filled with oil. This oil was not like any earthly oil, but had the appearance of all the flowers of the earth. It was a repository of the beauty and fragrance of creation itself, a gift from the Creator that nurtured life on earth. I marveled at the sight, understanding that everything, even the most delicate aspects of nature, had its origin and its purpose in the heavens. The second heaven. The angels then took me higher, ascending to the second heaven. Here, the light was dimmer, and a terrifying darkness enveloped the realm. It was a darkness far deeper than any shadow on earth. As I looked around, I saw prisoners suspended in chains, awaiting the great and boundless judgment. These were no ordinary beings, but fallen angels who had once been part of the heavenly host. Their torment was evident in their constant weeping and wailing. I turned to the angels beside me and asked, "Why are these angels continually tortured? What is their fate?" They answered with sorrow in their voices, "These are the apostates of God, those who did not heed his commands. They followed their own desires and turned away from the Creator's will. They chose to follow their own path, abandoning their divine purpose, and thus they are imprisoned here in eternal darkness, awaiting the final judgment. Their prince, the one who led them astray, is bound in the fifth heaven, far beyond this place." As the angels spoke, I felt a deep sense of both pity and dread. It was clear that the consequences of turning away from the divine will were grave, and the darkness of the second heaven seemed to reflect the eternal separation from the Creator. The third heaven and the tree of life. With my heart heavy from the sorrow of what I had witnessed, the angels took me higher still, ascending to the third heaven. Here, the beauty was beyond any description I could give. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of flowering trees, and the fruits they bore smelled unlike anything on earth. Among these trees I saw the tree of life, its glory indescribable. Its branches stretched high into the heavens, and the very presence of the Lord could be felt as he visited this sacred place. The tree of life stood at the center of a paradise unlike any other, its golden and fiery hues radiating light. From this tree flowed rivers of honey, milk, oil, and wine, which separated into 4 streams encircling the earth. These rivers nourished all of creation, and they were a constant reminder of the abundance and grace of the Creator. The land around the tree was blessed, and it was guarded by 300 angels who sang continuously in praise and worship of the Lord. Their voices were like a chorus of heavenly music, filling the air with harmony and light. As I stood there in awe, I realized that this was a place of eternal peace and joy, a land untouched by the trials of the earthly world. It was a place where the beauty of creation and the presence of the Lord were intertwined, where life flourished and every being was in perfect harmony with the Creator's will. The rivers that flowed from the tree were not just physical, but spiritual as well, symbolizing the sustenance that the divine provides to all living things. The northern terrible place. After this, the angels led me to a northern place that was unlike any I had encountered before, an area of torment, both fiery and icy, where the forces of destruction seemed to clash with one another. The air was filled with a palpable sense of suffering, and the environment was harsh and unforgiving. Torches burned incessantly, casting long shadows across a river of fire that flowed through the land, its flames licking the sky. The very ground seemed to tremble with the cries of those who were trapped in this dreadful realm. The anguished souls within this place writhed in torment, their cries echoing endlessly. The bonds that held them were cruel and merciless, unbreakable chains that caused unspeakable pain. I saw angels who seemed to revel in the torment of these souls, fallen beings whose hearts were as cold as the icy winds that whipped through this domain. I turned to my guides and asked, "How terrible is this place, and who is condemned here?" The angels answered with a sorrowful tone, "This place has been prepared for those who dishonor God on earth, those who practice sin against nature, those who commit abominable acts such as child corruption, perform witchcraft, steal, lie, and harm others. Those who forsake the Creator, bowing before false gods, will inherit this place as their eternal punishment." The weight of their words sank deeply within me, and I understood that this was a place of ultimate despair, reserved for the most wicked and those who turned away from the divine light. The fourth heaven. After witnessing the horrors of the northern terrible place, where the forces of darkness reigned, the angels guided me higher, lifting me to the fourth heaven. This realm was entirely different. Its beauty was more celestial and awe-inspiring, filled with the divine order of the cosmos. As I looked around, I saw the celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, and the stars, interacting in a way that was beyond comprehension. Everything moved with perfect precision, as though governed by laws set in place by the Creator from the beginning of time. I observed the sun, its rays radiating with a brilliance so intense that they seemed to surpass any light I had ever seen on earth. The glow of the sun was far more glorious than the moon's gentle illumination, filling the sky with a fiery light. The sun's path was surrounded by 4 great stars, massive and majestic, acting as guardians to ensure that its journey across the heavens was uninterrupted. Around the sun, there were 8,000 smaller stars that circled it, each star playing a specific role in the grand design of the universe. These stars worked in harmony, their movements orchestrated to maintain the balance of day and night. The angels explained to me that during the day, a host of 15,000 angels attended to the sun, their voices blending together in harmonious song. They ignited the sun's rays with divine fire, ensuring that its light would shine brightly and steadily, providing life and warmth to all of creation. As the day turned to night, 1,006 winged angels accompanied the sun, their wings fanning the divine fire, keeping the sun aglow even as it descended beyond the horizon. The work of these celestial beings was crucial to maintaining the rhythms of the universe, ensuring the cycles of day and night continued without end. I marveled at how the entire universe seemed to function like a finely tuned instrument, with each element working in concert to maintain the Creator's design. The fifth heaven, the Gregori. The angels then led me upward to the fifth heaven, a place quite unlike the previous realms I had visited. The light here was dim, and the air was filled with a somber, melancholic energy. The space was inhabited by a group of beings called the Gregori, giant-like angels, who stood as silent witnesses to the consequences of their rebellion. Their presence was haunting, and I could feel a deep sense of regret and sorrow emanating from them. Their forms were withered, their bodies frail and weak, as if the weight of their transgressions had drained their once glorious strength. As I gazed at them, I was struck by their silence. There was no joy in this place, no divine music or harmony. Instead, there was a heavy stillness, broken only by the occasional sound of sorrowful weeping. I turned to the angels who had brought me here and asked, "Why are these beings so silent and withered? What is their purpose in this place?" The angels responded with a solemn tone, "These are the Gregori, the fallen angels, who, under the leadership of their prince, Satan, rejected the Lord of Light. They abandoned their divine roles and descended to earth, where they corrupted humanity. They took the daughters of men as wives and fathered giants, beings of great size and strength, but who were also lawless and violent. The Gregori introduced sin and chaos to the earth, spreading corruption among mankind. For their rebellion, they have been judged by God, and their punishment is to remain here in sorrow and despair, knowing that they will never again return to their heavenly place." I could sense their deep remorse. They wept not only for the evil they had brought to earth, but for their own fallen state. They understood that the punishment they faced was not temporary, it would be eternal. This was a place where they were separated from the grace of God, their fate sealed by their own actions. The heavy atmosphere of regret in this realm left an indelible mark on my soul, reminding me of the consequences of turning away from the divine will. The sixth heaven, the Archangels. The angels then led me further, bringing me to the sixth heaven. This was a realm of pure light and radiant glory. The air shimmered with divine energy, and everything around me seemed to pulse with the vibrancy of life. I encountered 7 bands of angels in this realm, each group shining brighter than the sun itself. These beings were radiant with the light of the Creator, and they moved with grace and purpose, overseeing the celestial order with unparalleled wisdom. The angels in this realm had been entrusted with governing not only the stars, moon, and sun, but also the forces of nature itself. They maintained the balance of the seasons, the flow of the rivers, the tides of the seas, and the growth of the fruits of the earth. Every aspect of creation was under their care, and they ensured that all things worked together in perfect harmony. In their presence, I saw 6 phoenixes, immortal symbols of rebirth and renewal, each one rising from the ashes of the past. Alongside them were 6 cherubim, their wings wide and their eyes full of understanding, and 6 six-winged angels who flew in endless praise of the Lord. The beauty and majesty of the sixth heaven were unlike anything I had ever imagined. The sound of celestial music filled the air, unlike anything on earth. The song of the angels seemed to resonate with the very fabric of the universe itself, as if every note played a part in the great symphony of creation. I felt that I was witnessing the perfect order of the divine will, where the natural world was in complete harmony with the Creator's design. The seventh heaven, the Lord's throne. With each step, I was carried higher into the divine realms. Finally, the angels brought me to the seventh heaven, a place of unimaginable grandeur. As I entered this sacred space, I was greeted by a great light that filled the heavens, radiating from the very presence of the Lord. Within this light, I saw countless angels, each one more majestic than the last. There were fiery hosts of archangels, cherubim, seraphim, thrones, and many-eyed ones, all gathered around the Lord, who sat upon his high and exalted throne. The angels surrounding the throne of the Lord continually praised and served him, their songs of glory echoing throughout the expanse of the seventh heaven. The air was thick with the presence of the Almighty, and I could feel the very essence of his power and majesty. I stood in awe, unable to comprehend the full extent of the glory before me. The angels reassured me, "Do not fear, Enoch. Take courage." But even their words could not quell the overwhelming sense of awe that gripped me as I beheld the splendor of the Lord's throne. This was a place of eternal worship, where the glory of the Creator was manifest in the purest form. I understood that this realm was not just a physical location. It was the very seat of divine power and authority, where the Lord reigned supreme over all creation. The 10th heaven, the Lord's face.
Finally, I was shown the 10th heaven, the highest and most sacred of all. Here the Lord himself resides, and his presence was beyond comprehension. His face appeared like glowing iron, burning with fire and emitting sparks that filled the heavens with light. I fell to the ground in awe, unable to speak, unable to fully comprehend the majesty and glory before me. The Lord's throne was vast, stretching beyond what I could see, and surrounding it were countless cherubim and seraphim, all singing his praises eternally. The glory of the Lord was indescribable, a light that shone brighter than anything I could ever imagine. As I lay prostrate before him, the Lord spoke to me, saying, "Take courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Stand before my face into eternity." At that moment, the Archangel Michael lifted me up, and I stood before the Lord in his glorious presence. The Lord then ordered that I be clothed in heavenly garments, and I was anointed with his sweet ointment. As I was anointed, I became like one of the glorious beings who inhabited this realm, filled with divine radiance and holiness. The transformation was complete. I was no longer the same, but had been made worthy to stand in the presence of the Almighty.
Ultimately, Enoch is honored with an eternal place before the Lord, becoming one of his glorious beings. This powerful narrative not only explores the mysteries of the heavens, but serves as a reminder of God's boundless strength, justice, and love.